You can listen online at WSJM.com and the WSJM app. And you can go check out joiquebell.com because that's where you can find out about a lot of great stuff that is happening this weekend. And Joique Bell is joining me on the show. Joique, what's up, man?
What's up, Johnny? How are you?
I'm excited about this weekend. You've got a ton of really great things that are coming up that we need to look forward to. And it's all kicking off as soon as tomorrow. But first, tell me a little bit more about the Joique Bell Charity Weekend. This is something that has grown exponentially over the years. Tell me a little bit about how it all got started.
And so it got started back in 2011. So this is actually my 11th year anniversary. Would have been my 12th annual, but the COVID year kind of set us back. But
Sure.
I started it back in 2011. What happened was I was going around doing different camps and different things for other players and coaches and scouts, and I was seeing the impact that it was having on the youth. And I thought to myself, I never had this growing up.
Yeah.
And the light bulb went off, like, why don't you bring it back to your community? And so I brought it back. And so as soon as my rookie year was over, I reached out to who a lot of people call Candy, who was my mom, but to me, she's my momager. So I called my momager and I said, listen, Ma, I want to start a foundation. I want to start hosting camps back at my hometown. And so held my first one. It was a success. And you say, you know what, I want to keep doing it. And so my very first year, to kind of kickstart my foundation, we had a game called the Battle of the Legends, right? And so the 2005 basketball class at Ben Harbor High School, we considered ourselves to be the most elite basketball class ever come through Ben Harbor. And so we had a lot of people who wanted to set the record straight. And so we had so we let every team from 1990 to 2000, we let them get their best 15 to 20 players, and they went against our 2005 class. And it was a good game, and they were kicking our butts for the most part. And, since it was my charity event, I told them to add a little bit more time on the clock because I knew we were in better shape, so we'd just wear them down. And we ended up winning. And so when that happens, it was such a great turnout and such a great event. I said, you know what, next year, let's do more. And so we did the football camp, and then a lot of the girls in the community said, well, we want to dance and we want to have something fun. So I linked up with DPC here in Detroit at the time when the Detroit Lions dance teams, and they will come down and they will host my dance camp where I hosted the football camp. And then we'll have the celebrity game where I have a lot of my teammates come down to the community, and we'll grab 2 kids from every high school in the surrounding area, from 2 kids at Ben Harbor, have to be a senior, one student athlete from boys team who was a senior, and one from the girls team. So we'll grab 2 players from each school around the surrounding area, from Ben Harbor, St. Joe, Lakeshore, Berrien Springs, and they'll come and they'll play me and my teammates from the Lions and a few other players. And that would turn out great. And I remember it was such a great feeling because I would have some of those players reach out to me years later and say that's like one experience that they'll never forget. And that's kind of what the kind of impact we were having. And then I went to my mom and said, listen, I want to do more. We got to figure out how we could do more. And I remember I had a police officer reach out to me, Alan, Big Al, Alan Boker. And he reached out to me and said, listen, Joique, we do a shop with a cop every year. We take 25 kids to and do a shopping spree. I said, well, he said, but this year we don't have the money to do it. So will you mind funding it this year? And I said, you know what? Under one condition I do it. And he said, what's that? I said, well, you take it from 25 kids to 35 kids. And the reason I said 35 kids is because
35,
35. And so he kind of laughed and chuckled and said, of course we can do 35 kids. And so I started doing that and teamed up with them, and I started doing that in Detroit, and I started doing it in Ben Harbor. And I said, I want to do more. And so throughout my time talking and speaking on behalf of the Lions, I kind of realized, like, there's a lot more out that I can do.
Right.
A lot more. And so I did some research with Ben Harbor, and I'm like trying to figure out what my community needs. And one thing that I stumbled across, and one thing that's very important to me, is education and literacy. And so when I researched and saw the reading levels of the kids in my hometown, it was disturbing, a bit alarming. 90% of the kids that were reading below grade level. And then when I dug deeper, the numbers were actually, unfortunately, higher, closer to 95%. And so I should have been more aware of that. And as soon as I was made aware, I started
Mhm.
researching on things that I could do. And so
Sure.
I stumbled across. So as my time speaking for the Lions in the NFL, I stumbled across a group that I had to speak to a group of kids, and a group of kids were very impressive to me, just how they conducted themselves and the questions that they were asking when I was doing this event. And after the event was over, I pulled one of the directors to the side and said, "Listen, what is this program?"
Yeah.
And they said, "Well, it's a literacy program, and every kid here volunteered to be here." And it was a packed house. And so they kind of showed me all these kids who struggled to read, wanted to be better, wanted to do better. And I thought to myself, like, if these kids here want to do better, then I'm pretty sure there are kids back in Benton Harbor who want this same opportunity. And so I reached out to their president and founder of that Pacific program and set up a meeting. Set up a meeting with her. I went there. I looked at the data. I went and saw the kids. I saw how the program worked. I was able to sit down and talk to some of the student athletes that they had in their program. And I would ask them, how's this program changed your life? And I wanted
Sure.
to talk directly to the kids. And they would tell me, like, we have a person here who sits with us every day, who is consistent in our lives, who helped me build confidence in the classroom, and it's helped me in so many other ways, in so many aspects, um, because I don't have anyone in my life as consistent as my tutor. And so it was more than just teaching them how to read, but also giving them that person that they can depend on to be consistent. And a lot of the kids who go through this program finish, still they stay in contact with their tutor over time, because they were a huge part. Like, and and I have a video that I'll probably send to you if you want to put it on your page. But the founder talks about how these kids were struggling just to read street signs, like the everyday
Yeah.
life. And I think that's a huge part when it comes to being an asset to society, is at least knowing how to read and knowing how to communicate. Those are major key parts to a person's life in order to be successful. And so um, I looked at the data, and I mean, the data was significant. I mean, they had kids who were in 10th grade reading at a 5th grade level. 14 weeks in this program, they tested out reading at 11th grade level. Like, and it's thousands of kids with that type of movement and reading
Mhm.
skill who kind of went through this program. And so I linked up with the superintendent of Benton Harbor area schools, told him about the program, told him about the research I've done on it, invited him over to my home for him to meet the president of this particular program. And we sat down and had a very, very in-depth conversation for a couple hours. And once we had that conversation, I immediately took off and started reaching out to a lot of my resources to try to get funding for this program to come to Ben Harbor. And so right now this year we're raising funds for that, right? So the price point is anywhere from 2,500 to 4,000 per student. What they do is they do an analysis or assessment of each
Yeah.
child before they go through the program, which is very important. And then depending on how far they are behind, we give them what we call a literacy prescription. Right? And then based off that literacy prescription, we'll base the payment for that particular child to be put in the program,
Okay.
just to be able to pay for the tutors. And so I think we needed desperately in Ben Harbor, and there's a lot of people making a lot of moves in Ben Harbor, even the school district. I think they just got a fund for, or a grant for, another literacy program. And I think that's going to work with, and I might be paraphrasing, but I think that's going to work with kids that are 1 or 2 grade levels behind. And this program will work with kids that are farther than that,
Sure.
which they need this type of intervention.
Absolutely. This is something that I love that you seeing the need in your community and doing what you can to help, and you have so many other great people that are wanting to help
Yeah.
as well. So this is something that I know you got a big weekend ahead of you.
Yeah.
Everything from bowling tournament, that's tomorrow, right?
Yeah, so that's tomorrow night. You can still buy tickets online. We still have room for that. So that starts tomorrow night. So I have a lot of friends coming to town. Start to get in town tomorrow. I have everywhere from Calvin Johnson will be in town over the weekend. Rob Sims, another teammate of mine. Darius Slay will be in town. Chris Ivory, Mike Weber, Jeremy. I mean, I just have a lot of people. I have. So on Friday we have the golf outing.
Yep.
After the golf outing, we have a gala that evening. On Saturday is going to be our biggest day. Is we're going to have the 5K that morning, so people still sign up for the 5K. We're going to have a football and dance camp right after the 5K. We're giving out 200 pairs of cleats to kids 7-14, but ages 7 to 18 can come.
Okay.
I teamed up and partnered with Legacy Sports, powered by Rocket Mortgage, and they're going to come through and they're doing a huge, they're doing a huge gift. So they're a big part of the 200 cleats that we're being able to give away to the kids.
That's awesome.
Great group of guys. And for the dance camp, I have a close friend of mine named Diddy and she was a former background dancer for Beyonce, and she came down and did my dance camp last year, and she said she loved the kids so much, and that was the first time ever coming to Benton Harbor that she said, you know what, I'll do it for free. I just want to come back and be an impact with these kids. So she's coming back this year, and she's bringing some gifts with her, and we're going to have a resource workshop where people can come in and learn about investing, learn about real estate, learn about cryptocurrency, and different things of that nature. We're going to have that, and one of the crucial things that I think is mostly needed is we're going to have a team up with Wayne State Health Department, and we're going to do a mass lead testing on site at Ben Harbor High School on this upcoming Saturday.
Yeah.
So for the entire community, and then we're going to reach out to, well, actually not reach out, but we also teamed up with the public health department there in Benton Harbor to guide the people who might be exposed to lead and let them know the next steps. And so we're all just trying to do our part to make sure everyone is aware, has knowledge, and just getting them information and resources. And I think that's one thing that our community needs, and then go from there.
Wonderful. And then Saturday night, you also have a party as well, right?
No, that's Friday.
Oh, that's Friday? Okay.
That's Friday. Yeah, that's Friday. Yeah.
You got a ton of really great things going on. And I love that you are looking at not just one thing. You're looking at all so many different ways that you can help. And there's so many big things happening this whole entire weekend. Joique, if we want to get involved, maybe there's a person, individual, or a business that wants to get involved and help out in any way they can, how do they go about doing that?
They can either contact me directly on the joiquebell.com website. We have a tab for where they can just ask questions or get information. If people want to volunteer, we have volunteer tabs there where they can come and volunteer for the charity weekend. And if we have the sponsorship packages on the website as well, if you want to sponsor, say, a golf hole, or if you want to sponsor the football camp. So we have packages in there to where you can decide what you want to do. And once you email us, we can email you everything you need. And we can go from there.
Awesome. JoiqueBell.com is how you can find all the info on all of this stuff. Find it on Facebook as well. There's tons of great information and great things that you're doing right here in our community. Joique, it's always good to talk to you, man.
Yeah, likewise, Johnny, man. I'm glad to see everything's going well. Hopefully we can get you out this weekend.
I'll try to I'm making out there any way I can. All right.
All right. Sounds good. I appreciate you.